Have you ever wondered how you can bring atoms and molecules from the textbook to life? Well, with Metaspark Studio you can. Hey, what's up guys, this is Varun here, back again with another amazing AR tutorial for you all. In this video I'll show you how I made atoms and molecules AR effect for CBSE in Metaspark. So without any further ado, let's get started. Well, it all started when 1M1B reached out to me with an opportunity to create AR effects for CBSE in association with Meta, and I took the opportunity in a heartbeat because I love making AR experiences for educational purposes. So I went through the NCERT textbook and settled on atoms and molecules chapter because chemistry has always fascinated me. Now that I have the idea and the user flow solid, it's time to create. The first step is asset creation. I started by making 3D assets. So I opened up Blender and started modeling an atom using simple shapes and modifiers. However, this process was inefficient considering that I needed to create 18 more such elements. So instead, I discovered a website called moleview.org which helped me to generate 3D models for all the elements in mole format. This saved me a ton of time and it's super simple to use. Just go to the website, type the name of the element that you want to get the 3D model for. Once it loads, you can see the notation on the left side and you can see the 3D model on the right side. You can just use your mouse to look around the 3D model, and to download it, go to tools and under export settings, click on mole file. That will download the 3D model on your desktop. So I did this step for all the 18 elements. But Blender does not natively support mole files. So before importing this in Blender, I had to convert it into a Blender supported format. So I used a tool called Bible GUI and it's super simple to use. So just open Bible GUI, it's a mouthful name, I know. Here select the input format, that is mole, and also select the input file. Select the output format, that is PDB. PDB stands for Protein Data Bank, and also select the output destination. Once you do this, click on convert. That will convert your mole file into PDB file. Now you can import this in Blender. So before we actually import this, you need to do one more step, that is to enable an add-on to import and export atomic files. How you do it? It's pretty simple. Go to preferences inside of Blender, under add-ons, search for this add-on called as import export atomic. Just enable this and restart Blender. So now when you go into the import options, you'll get this new option called PDB. Just click on that and select the PDB files that you have just converted using Bible GUI. So here are the best import settings to import these PDB files. Here you need to do some changes. Select the type of the ball as mesh, scaling factor of the ball as 0.5, type to dupliverts, enable color, enable smooth, and also make sure the bonds are enabled. Change the radius to 0.1 and click on import. Now we have successfully imported the 3D model of water. This is how you import these 3D models into Blender. The next step here is to clean up the mesh, and you can use any method you want, but this is how I did it. First of all, I enable everything. So just do this so that all the hidden objects also gets enabled. And here I have to change the size of these two, but these two are parented to another sphere inside this. I'll just hide this, and there you can see another sphere. I'll just increase this to my liking, and then I'll click on Alt H to make all the hidden objects visible. Now select all the objects using the key A and click on Ctrl A. Now make sure you select this option, that is make instances real, and delete these two. And I think there are more extra particles here. So let's just go to the wireframe view and then delete this. So I'm deleting this manually. Okay, so we don't have anything else. We'll go back to the solid view and select the object, select all of them, right click, shade smooth. Now you select all the objects and make sure this middle one has this light orange circle around it. That is selected, that will act as a parent, and click on Ctrl J so that all the objects are merged together. Next you have to make sure that all the vertices are facing outside. So what you do is you go here and you select face orientation. Here you can see some are facing inside, some are facing outside. So to fix that, select the object, click on tab, click on Ctrl Shift N, and then it will recalculate the normals. Just disable inside, that will make sure all of the normals are facing outside, and then just disable this view as well. This is done. And now to see the polygons, you just go into this option and click on this check mark for statistics. It has 9,000 triangles right now. We have to reduce the number of triangles. So for that, what you can do is you can just go to modifiers and add a decimate modifier and divide it by 0.5, but 0.5 is too much. 0.6, yeah, 0.6 works. And we have successfully reduced the number of triangles to 5,442. That is really less for this one particular molecule of water. Now you just like apply this modifier. We have all the changes done. Add this to new collection and delete the old collection. Delete hierarchy. Call this water model. Cool. So once this is done, you can just go to file, export, and export as FBX file. Let's go to this directory where you are saving all the files. Just call this water.fbx. I just leave all the other settings to default and click on export FBX. So let's check how much is the size of this FBX file. So the size of this is 195 kilobytes. That is fine. Next, I designed the user interface in Figma, and here's an overview of the Figma file. So here are all the icons, and you can see all I have used, like here letters and here some symbols. Here are the buttons. Finally, I settled on this one. Then here are the two states for all the info cards. So when you tap on this card, it switches into the second one. When you tap, it reverses again, and there's a close button also. So these have to be very colorful and should have really good readability, so that the users or the learners are really engaged and understand the concept. So that's how I did it. I iterated through a lot of different variations and finally landed on this one. And here's the icon for the effect. Now it's time to bring everything to life using Metaspark. Here's an overview of the project setup. So here's the project. Let me restart it. I set up this project using the world effect template as a base. I imported all of the 3D and 2D assets here in the asset manager. You can see all of them here. These are all the 3D models and the materials. I've named all of them like this: card, atom, underscore material, neutron material, proton material, so that all of this is very organized and easy to understand later. And then I added all of it under this null object and renamed these null objects to that particular atom or molecule. I animated the atoms and molecules using loop animation patch like this, which you can see over here, and also added a button to switch between these states. So if I go to simulate touch and start the effect, I'll just play it. Here on the top you can see this button through which I can easily switch between any of them. So I added this button and also wrote a script. So to see the script, you can just go here and click on edit. And here's the script that I've written to initialize multiple UI pickers and switch between them using a pulse trigger. This imports all the required modules. This initializes the picker with proper textures, and then this logs the data for us in the console. The script essentially does three things. It initializes the picker UI with the correct textures, monitors the picker's selected index, and sends it to the patch editor using patch bridging. It takes a pulse as input from object tab to change the picker's configuration. That is, it switches between atoms, molecules, and compounds. That's it. That is what this script is doing. I know this script might be difficult to understand. I'll probably make a different tutorial to teach all of you how you can add multiple UI pickers in one effect. Now let's close this. And the last step, I've added instructions using this block. If you go to the device, camera, focal distance, UI, here we have a block called real world instructions. This I found in AR library. So if I restart the effect, I can see this. So here it says tap to place, and you get this animation on top. Now click on this. It says pinch to zoom and use 2 fingers to rotate. And there's also one more instruction that I've hidden for now, which says tap to know more. There you have it, folks. This is how I created items and molecules effect for CBSE in Metaspark. I hope you learned something new. If you did, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome tutorials like this one. Let me know what you would like to see next, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.